I heard from a parishioner last Sunday who is mightily dismayed about the goings-on in Israel-Palestine, particularly the behavior of the IDF towards the people and the children of Gaza. And it's having an impact on this parishioner's faith. We hear Old Testament passages every Sunday, they lamented. I don't know how we can continue to listen to the stories, the wisdom of our Jewish forebears when Israel is behaving as it is. Children are being killed lining up for food aid, for heaven's sakes. It's a good question. Many of us, I think, feel confused in faith and dismayed in heart at the complicated war in the land we call holy. Later in the morning last Sunday, I heard different feedback coming from a different kind of confusion and dismay. I was hoping you'd explain the Amos passage, this parishioner commented. In the regular course of the lectionary, we only hear from Amos twice, last Sunday and this Sunday. And along with being a good opportunity to unpack the prophet Amos a little bit, maybe he can help us some with the first concern about how we engage the Old Testament, given the complication and heartbreak of current events. Amos is the oldest of the writing Old Testament prophets. He lived and worked in the time of the divided kingdom, during the reign of King Uzziah of Judah and the King Jeroboam II of Israel. Amos was from the southern kingdom of Judah, but traveled north to the kingdom of Israel, where he warned the people, especially the king, about the rise of the Assyrian Empire. We heard some of those historical notes last Sunday. Assyria, for information, conquered the northern kingdom of Israel in 722 BCE, which was roughly 25 years or so, roughly a generation after Amos was preaching. Now, according to Richard Rohr in his new book, The Tears of Things, a prophet is, quote, someone who would call the people to return to God and to justice, someone who would warn them, critique them, and reveal God's heart to them. Besides being truth tellers, Rohr continues, they were radical change agents, messengers of divine revelation, teachers of a moral alternative, and deconstructors of every prevailing order. The role of prophet as part of a religious system was unique in ancient times, and it wasn't wanted then any more than it's wanted now. Nobody really wants or likes, as Rohr describes, an officially licensed critic, a devil's advocate who names and exposes their own group's shadow side. This is what prophets did, and this is what prophets do. They are on the edge of the inside, not pointing fingers at outsiders, but critiquing their own people. And in general, the ancient prophets critiqued either the religious or the social realities of their society. So their primary message is either get your worship right or get your society right. And Amos is what's known as one of the social justice prophets. He is not concerned about worship or religious piety. He is very concerned about how the society runs, particularly in its politics and economics. We hear that critique very clearly today. Hear this, Amos writes, you who trample on the needy and bring ruin to the poor of the land. And then he gets really specific about how the wealthy and powerful can hardly wait for the religious observance to end so that they can get back to cheating regular people. And he puts the accusation in their own mouths. We will make the ephah small and the shekel heavy and practice deceit with false balances, buying the poor for silver and the needy for a pair of sandals, selling the sweepings of the wheat. It's a description of a wildly unjust marketplace where the rich get richer by flouting economic ethics and cheating those who can't fight back. Like all the prophets, Amos doesn't call out the individuals per se. Amos identifies and judges collective evil, the societal, systemic ills. Some of what we heard in that letter from Bishop Anna at the beginning. Practice economic and political justice. Amos rails against the wealthy and powerful. Or it will really not go well for you, because God is not pleased. Now, this is a difficult message, to say the least, now as much as it was then, and particularly for a church that has mostly been in bed with empire. The Anglican Communion, of which we are a part, exists because of British imperialism. And the Christian church, across the board of all Christian churches, has worked hand in glove with the prevailing economic and political systems in the West, no matter how corrupt or oppressive, for many, many centuries. There are numerous historical examples. The presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church USA, Sean Rowe, recently wrote about this in an op-ed published July 3rd, just a few weeks ago. He begins, "We were once the church of the founding fathers and presidents." And he goes on to acknowledge how the easy coexistence with earthly power that the church has enjoyed, and reflects then on recent challenges that church has experienced and how things are quickly changing. He notices that churches like ours, protected by the First Amendment and practiced in galvanizing people of goodwill, may be some of the last institutions capable of resisting this administration's overreach and recklessness. We are now faced with a series of choices, he concludes. The choices we face, perhaps less acutely than those in the south of our border, but still, the choices we face together as a church, as a community, as a society, is between going along to get along or heeding the voices of prophets who call for justice. Prophets like Amos, like Jesus, like Martin Luther King Jr., like Jody Wilson-Raybould or Greta Thunberg, and others. The choices are only getting more urgent all over the world. They're choices between protecting our society's systems as they are, which means protecting our comfortable privilege and prosperity, or boldly working towards a more just, equitable, and sustainable society. This is what Amos starkly puts before us today, as much as he did for the people of his own time. If you don't, he warns, you will know terrible trouble one day. Just ask the people of Texas. No wonder we hear from him so little in the lectionary. This, his message, is not saleable to a church in bed with empire. I wonder, though, how the people of Gaza might hear it, or the people of contemporary Israel, or the leadership of both. We continue to read and to listen to ancient stories and ancient wisdom because the behavior of powerful people hasn't changed all that much. And God's vision of a just and equitable world where all of creation thrives is still alive with possibility, if only we heed the warnings of the prophets, ancient and contemporary alike.